Hey everybody, it is your favorite Wild PK. Yes, it's Lady Abdullah, and I am here to give you encouragement today. For me, it's hump day, it's Wednesday. But whenever you're watching this, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're feeling blessed. I hope that your day is starting with someone or something that brings a smile to your face today. And I just want to encourage you. So I have been reading about prayers. It's a book from T.D. Jakes and Women That Pray, and it's been giving me insight of women in the Bible who have been working on their prayers and how their prayers either changed the nation, changed their lives, changed the community that they're in, just changed everything. And I just want to share, or at least I want to focus this session on today about praying in the midst and not hearing anything. Praying in the midst of things going on and not hearing anything. That was I'm not going to say reoccurring, because sometimes you hear from God, right? I know I'm not the only one where when I'm praying, God is talking to me directly. He's giving me insight. He's giving me words of encouragement. He's giving me wisdom. But this might be a season in your life where you are praying. You could be fasting. You could be reading your word. You could be seeking his face. And you don't hear anything. Like just complete silence. And it could be maddening. Like really, I promise you, in my journey of diving deeper and getting a better connection with the Lord and seeking his face and trying to be my best self. You know, you're like, I am plugged in, I am logged in, I'm going to do this, I'm going to seek your face this year, Lord. And there's just seasons, and it could be months. It could be even, it feels like a year or more, where you feel like God is not hearing you. And you're like, where are you in all of this, God? Like, where are you at? And I want to talk about that today. If this is you, leave a comment in the comment section and say, you know what, I was praying for this, and at the time I didn't hear anything from God. And you can tell me if you're still seeking a word or if he's responded. Tell me what he's responded. Because a lot of times we think it's just he never talks to us. But the truth of the matter is, and what I'm learning, is that everything has to be in good timing. Here's my example. So, like most young ladies, when I was younger, I was like, I want to be married at 25. Like, I wanted to marry my high school sweetheart. I wanted to, the typical things that, when you're young, you just want to do things in this order. I don't know, your timeline might have been different than mine, because I got a whole new different generation who are more ambitious. But for me, we were taught to get married really young, so we can have our family really young and all that kind of stuff, right? And I was brought up in that purity culture. If you never heard that, we might talk about that as well. But I'm praying for these things. I'm like, God, I need to be this, I need to be that, I need to be this. And going back to the last podcast that we talked about, it's like, well, where is God in all of that? Like, where is God in your plans? Like, have you asked him, is this what you would have for me in my life? Is this the walk you would have me to walk? Like, there's moments where we're praying for things and we're asking for things and we're unsure. We're not, we have the faith, we go forward. Like, God, I think this is what you would have for me. Bless this thing. And we're so excited. And after we prayed the prayer and it doesn't happen, doesn't your faith waver just a little bit? You're like, wait a minute. Now I prayed for it. Where is that, Lord? Did you not hear me? Like, come on, don't leave me hanging. Don't let me be the only one who felt like that. And it's like, God, where are you? What are you doing? We said, quotations, we said we was going to get married by 25. And he's like, no, you said you wanted to be married by 25. And you said you want to be married to your high school sweetheart. When I tell you, I'm so glad I didn't get married to my high school sweetheart. And it's not that this gentleman is not a nice person, because he is married, they have children, they went to go live their own life. I said, but the life that God had for me, it wouldn't have aligned with him, because like, he's living back in our home, in our home city, hometown or whatever, and I'm completely in a different area. And he was not my forever. He was not the person I was supposed to be with. And I don't think we would have made it. the things that he was pursuing for himself, not that it's not good, they just didn't align with me in ministry and how I wanted to serve with God. And it's not that he wasn't saved, because he was. Look, let me tell you, when I say I was a church girl through and through, I was a church girl through and through, okay? Like, if you didn't go to my church, if you weren't saved, if you weren't speaking in tongues, you could not talk to me, okay? That's how I felt when I was in high school. Like, Jesus don't play about me. But what I took from it is that just because something looks good doesn't mean it's good for you. I'm going to say that again. Just because it looks good doesn't mean it's good for you. There are a lot of times, even in relationships, where you take something that's good and you're like, oh man, this has to be for me because it looks good. This looks good. But isn't that the same thing that Eve did? Like, wouldn't wisdom, knowledge, like, wouldn't that be good? This fruit looks good. Like, why would God want to keep this from me? I know you're like, oh my gosh, she's calling me out. I am. And whether it's a job or whether it's a relationship, whether it's just making a decision, you're like, man, this decision looks good. I just want to go back to the idea of putting God in the midst of that. And so what if you crossed over from that and you're like, you know what? I'm not moving till Jesus tells me to move. Guess what? He ain't tell you to move. Now you fussing and you complaining and you're like, Jesus, what's happening? So you're telling me you don't hear my prayer? Now you don't hear me. You don't tell me what to do. I'm asking you right now. And he's like, I'm not going to speak to that. Do you know that you can also be in a place of where you're asking for things that don't line up with his will? And it doesn't line up with where he would want to take you. And he's like, I already told you no to this. For some people, I am guilty of it. Guilty. I don't mind being transparent. Like, I promise you, he told me, look, don't do that. You don't want to do that, or you're going to waste 7 years of your life. And of course, your big sis, yes, big sis did. She signed up for the stupidity, and I did it anyway. And I went on the road that I went on. I'm going to tell my testimony on here, maybe the next time. And it was a very humbling journey. It was a very interesting journey. I just was exposed to a lot of things that I didn't have to be, but I'm thankful for it because I did learn from it. And it brought attention to some things that I was lacking within myself. But I probably could have did all that without going through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm saying, God, I'm waiting on you. I'm patient on you. Whatever you tell me, wherever you lead me, whatever you would have me to do, I just want to follow you, God. I just want to seek after your face. I just want to pursue you. And he's like, okay, let's see. Now he's quiet. He wants to know if you'll just wait on him. He wants to know if you'll just do what he asked you to do. He just wants to know if he doesn't say anything, will you continue to work the ground that he's giving all the fruits of the labor that you've sown already, the blessings that you have? Will you be content? Now that is something that I had to learn. When they say the fruits of the Spirit, they say long suffering. For the longest, I was like, I don't want no long suffering. I don't want no long suffering, because the way that word sounds, it just sounds bananas to me. Why would I want to suffer long? That's just crazy to me. But truly, long suffering means being content. Can you just be content in the Lord and the things that he would have you to do? Like, really think about it. Let's just say that I like to compare it to Jesus fasting and praying in the 40 days and 40 nights that he was out in the wilderness. Jesus was out there praying. Jesus was out there seeking God the Father. He firstborn. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm trying to say. But he's like, got direct connection to God. I'm not saying that God wasn't talking to him during that time frame. But to fast for 40 days and 40 nights, asking God to make him strong enough for this journey. God, if this not be your will, take it from me. Like, to be in that space. Think about it. God's decision for his life, his purpose for his life had not changed. So what else would he have told him? Some of us get mad for waiting on God for about like 24 hours. Like, really, I prayed today. I expected an answer today. I expected an answer for my prayer before I got up off my knees. And to be honest with you, man, that's real entitlement. That's real entitlement. I can say this. I was spoiled. I'm thinking if I say something, God gonna answer. And it's just because I was taught that. Like, even my dad feels like that now. He's like, God talks to me. He answers my prayers. Whatever I pray for, he grant me that. And it's like, man, I want to be like that. You know, I want to do that too. But after reading this prayer book, it's like, that's not what these women were doing. These women were not just seeking God's face so they can get what they wanted. They were seeking God's face because they were in true dilemmas. True moments of, I don't know what to do. And I can't be the one to make the decision. Now, for me, I used to have my cape on. I really used to just make all my decisions because I am an overanalyzer, and I will say, okay, these are the options that I have. This is the outcomes of them. If I do it like this, if I do it like that, and then I would weigh the pros and cons and then pick a choice because I want to be a little perfectionist. You know, the Lord's still working with me on that, but I've gotten a lot better. I understand grace and mercy a lot better. But for my sisters and brothers who are still struggling with it, can you imagine being in a place where you are looking, right? You're looking and you are trying your best to come up with something and you are struggling with it. Struggling with it because nothing is coming together and I don't know what to do. None of this looks right. It almost looks impossible. And can you imagine? I serve an impossible God. I serve a God who makes the impossible things happen. So of course I'm going to pray. Of course I'm going to fast. Of course I'm going to seek his face. Of course I'm going to just go to him and just say, hey God, you know I don't know what I'm doing. I need you to give me direction and fix it. And he says nothing. Right? How many times have we been in a place where I need clear direction and he says nothing? And then you do one of three things. And maybe this is just me. If you got another option, you tell me. One, we just go, you know what? Rock, paper, scissors it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, one of these three, if I boiled it down to one of these three should work, right? Rock, paper, scissors it. Flip a coin kind of situation, right? Number two, you know what? Whatever I pick, God's gonna bless it. First one, you leave it up to fate. Second one, you leave it up to you. And the third one, which a lot of us don't do, we just don't do anything. We just don't do anything. You're like, you know what? I'm going to wait till the Lord tells me something. And I keep going on about my life. How many times should we have done that? Like, I could think back on moments where I was like, God, I don't hear from you, but I got to do something because me and a friend were talking about this the other day where we are so productive. Like, we were around women who, in our families, who were always doing something. Like, they were doing a lot of busy work and they were going. And for myself, I was like, I thought that was being a good woman, being a good wife, being a good daughter, being a good sister, like constantly doing. And the reality is, God just wanted me to be still. He just wanted us to be still. And I'm doing all this. And I'm getting worked up. And I'm getting stressed out. I'm putting more and more things on my plate because for me, being still meant I was being lazy. Isn't that crazy? Being still to really hear a word from God, not making a move because I want to hear from God, meant that I was being lazy. Because I'm a firm believer that faith without works is dead. Is dead. Like, that faith without works, oh man, I believed in the work so bad. So I was like, I gotta do whatever. I don't ever want the Lord to say, Alicia, you didn't do what you were supposed to do, so that's why I can't give you what you're supposed to get. So in my mind, I'm working, I'm putting forth the effort, I'm getting in there. It's like, I'm gonna make this happen. And it's like, but where's me in that? He's like, I didn't tell you to do anything else. Do you know that resting is a part of working as well? Like, it's a part of the works. He wants you to be still. He may want you to be still in this season. I'm not saying don't have a plan. I'm not saying don't work towards the plan. But if you're saying, God, what should I do next? And you don't hear anything, then be still. Be still in that moment. Allow God to actually talk to you about it. Let me give you an example. So me and my husband were wanting to buy a home. Like, that is something that we both dreamed about doing, and we have 2 little kids, and I'm excited about it. And I'm talking to him about like realtors and going to this place and looking at this house. Do you like this house? And what about this house do you like? Like, we're trying to hone in what it is that we would like to do. And I'm doing all the work behind trying to get us this home. And come to find out that me by myself, I couldn't get the home. Let me say this. The reason why I wanted to do that is because I have been working so hard these last couple of years to get my credit score up so that we could eventually purchase a home. And it was just, a lot of things were already in his name. And so while my credit score was improving, I was hoping that if my credit score was great, then when we tried to go get the home, they'd pull mine and everything would go fine. Come to find out, it didn't work that way. And I started to freak out. And then I went into like, oh my gosh, what should we do? Should we do this? Should we do that? And I panicked. Now, I done prayed to the Lord for this house, right? And I hit a stumbling block. And instead of praying in that moment, or just believing what God told me originally, which is He said that I would get a home, I freaked out. I freaked out. Me and my husband had this conversation. It was about to spiral because I was panicking. I felt like this blessing was slipping from my hands. I was like, I'm doing all this work. I'm looking up, researching this home and putting information on this and looking at this and looking at that. And I don't see you doing as much effort, and it bothers me. And this is me just being 100% transparent with you. And he just looked at me and he was like, but babe, he said we were going to have the house. So if there's a house on the market right now and we can't get that house, guess what? It's okay. That means it wasn't a house for us to get. The Lord's going to bless us with a home that we need to have. And even though that wasn't the answer I wanted to hear, he was absolutely right. And I'm going to be like any other wife. I hate when he's right. I hate when my husband is right. I want to be the one that's right all the time. But my husband was right. It's like, I skipped past praying about it, asking God to give me comfort. And God, make me content in my situation. And when I thought about it, I said, you know what? I was like, honey, this is the first time that, if we didn't, like, we've had some really hard times, especially since COVID, and things like that. Like, we faced eviction multiple times. We have had no food in the house. We have almost been homeless, and God has provided all those times, every last one of those times, like miracles, whether somebody randomly gave us money. We ended up getting checks in the mail right on time, like unexpected checks for things they had no reason to be giving us a check, but they did. And I'm thankful. Or the gentle nudges of, hey, make sure you do this, and then the blessing came from it. And this was that time where I'm like, God, you know what? I forgot that you're my provider. I don't have to do all the extra. I just need to do what I can and follow your lead and follow your guide. Well, I've calmed down, of course. I'm feeling a lot better. Now, this was just last week. I'm going to be honest with you. This whole conversation was last week. It's brought me and my husband closer together. And my headspace is completely different. And it's because I have the fruit of long-suffering. The spirit, the fruit of being content. Like, we have no need right now. We have nothing that we need right now. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. There's nothing right now that I need. Absolutely nothing. And I'm thankful for it, and I'm grateful for it. It makes me happy. Like, my kids are fed. Everybody has what they need. And I was like, I don't have to have a home right now. Even though I tell myself, I'm pacing myself. That urgency to just, I gotta be busy. That that training that I've gotten. I gotta be busy. If I'm not doing this, I'm being lazy. I have to tell myself it's okay to rest and allow these things to just happen the way that God would have them to happen. Like, I saw a home and it looked beautiful, and it had like this back portion, another like a guest suite in the back part of the house. And in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, I can create my recording studio. I can create my podcast studio. And then when we have guests, they can stay upstairs. Like, this house looked like it could do and be everything that I wanted for my own living, right? And why am I freaking out about it? I don't need none of this stuff right now. I can do what I'm doing right now, and I'm thankful for it. So that's why he's quiet. That's why God didn't get flustered with me that I did because I got flustered. And I'm thankful that the Lord spoke through my husband. See, sometimes we want God directly to tell us because we don't always trust our partners or certain people's judgment or even their word of knowledge or word of wisdom over our lives. My husband stepped in right on time, so I took that as God talking to me, because he said exactly what I needed to hear. He didn't fold, he didn't buckle, he didn't, I don't know what you want me to do, He really just, what did God tell us? Like, he had to remind me. When is the last time that you didn't hear from God, but somebody confirmed something that God already told you? And they didn't even know. They didn't even know it. And you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. I don't need to freak out. Let me calm down. And then a couple months go by and you still haven't heard anything else from God. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, did I miss the mark? Did I miss my moment? Did I miss this opportunity? And the truth is, no, you didn't miss it. You didn't miss it. God is here with you now. He was there in the beginning, and he'll be there with you in the end. He won't leave you. Even when you think you left him, it's like, you know what, God, if you're not going to help me with this, I'm going to do it myself. Even when we say crazy things like that, he is still with you. He's not just quiet because he doesn't care about you. It's more like, this is your season to just walk this thing out. Take the word that he's giving you and continue to walk it out till it happens. And rest in that. How dare you rest? How dare you have peace about it? How dare you be comfortable enough to just be like, you know what? I asked for this. God said he was going to grant me that. When the opportunity arrives for me to have it, then I'm gonna reach out to it and grab it. That's it. That's it. Stop trying to make things happen. Stop trying to, I don't want to say be bigger than God, because that's the only way I can explain it. Because it's like, well, you know what? God said he wants me to have it, so I'm going to make it happen. Wait a minute. How did you step into God's place for your life? You don't know what's going to happen. In my mind, it's a good thing the houses that I was looking at may have passed me by. There may have been something wrong with it. I told a friend that yesterday. She went to buy a car, and the car that she went to go get, it would not, I don't know, if you know anything about car insurance, this is just something for your life. If you go to purchase the vehicle, you sign for it, and before you leave the lot, you have to get car insurance on it. Well, if your car insurance company won't sign off on it, or they'll say, you know what, we won't insure this vehicle, that is a sign from the Lord you don't need it. Okay? There's some companies that'll just take whatever vehicle, but I always treat it as a sign from the Lord. Only because of this. Most insurance companies, when they won't sign off on the car, it's truly because something is wrong with it. Something could be wrong with it. The car insurance companies, they know these VIN numbers. They get the reports automatically. Not AI. I want to say the algorithm. The algorithm is so fast. Sometimes I worked for a company for quite some time, and that little wheel would be spinning. By the end of that wheel spinning, it'd be like, we can't insure this vehicle, because they know the algorithm knows something that I wouldn't know when trying to start that policy. And I'm like, I'm sorry, we can't insure this vehicle. I don't know why. I said I would recommend that you may try a different vehicle, or you may want to, because my company is not going to insure it at all. And then it's like, what happened? Well, what's this? That's why I said that is just like God. God is the algorithm. He was like, I see something happening in the background. I don't want you to take that. So no, I'm not gonna grant you this one. I'm not gonna tell you yes to go into this job career. I'm gonna tell you not to make that post. Something as small as that. Like, no. You're like, oh, I feel strongly about this. I'm gonna post this thing, and I feel some conviction about it, and I'm gonna do this, and you try to post it and it just won't upload, and you done tried 3-4 times. Guess what? Don't post it. The algorithm, the Lord of all, is trying to keep you from doing something that you may regret later. You may regret it later. Because once it's out there, it's out there. So I want to encourage somebody today that in this season, that when God is not talking to you, stay in position, be content, and keep doing the last thing he told you to do. I know that may be hard. You're like, well, the last thing he told me to do was start looking for a house. Right? Did I stop looking for a house? No, I'm still looking. I still go on those search sites and check them out and see what's out there on the market and everything. For all I know, God knows I'm a very frugal young lady. For all I know, he might know something about the market where we might be approved for a certain amount right now, but he wants us to live comfortably. And it's like, okay, in about 4 months, the housing market is going to go down. I have no idea. That's my wish, though. But I have no idea. Then this amount of money that we can get more house for way less. More house for way less. I don't know what's in store. So stay in position, be content, and do the last thing that he asked you to do. Stop trying to be the smartest person in your life and allow God to truly lead you. You have to trust him. You have to trust that he knows what's best for you. You have to trust the fact that it's okay to be afraid and not knowing what to do next. Like even that, give yourself some grace and mercy. I know that the world teaches us that we should have our life together and know what we're going to do by the age of 18, by the age of 25, we should be full-grown adults. Whether you went to college or not, we should be full-grown adults, paying rent, knowing how to work the stock market, knowing how to get married, have a strong career that's going to take me up to about $100,000 a year to do. Let me tell you something. The way that the world is right now, it is a toss-up between being impoverished and being wealthy. A toss-up for both. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And if you put your faith in those things, in the things of this world, I promise you they'll disappoint you every time. As I told y'all last time, my boss fired me 7 months pregnant. She did not care about me. She did not care about my family. She did not care that she was putting me underneath a high level of stress to where I could have lost my kids. She didn't care about none of that. She just didn't like me. That alone. And I'm putting faith in someone to be concerned about my family. And it's like, when she let me go, guess who had me though? God. God had me the whole entire time. God kept me the whole entire time. God kept us the whole entire time. Even though it looked like eviction was right around the corner. When things finally did progress, he kept us. I had favor with my landlord where she understood what was going on because I told her up front. He said, the Lord himself was like, go talk to her. And I was embarrassed. Can I be honest with you? I was embarrassed to tell her, hey, I got let go from my job. This is what she told me. Miss James, don't worry about it. She said, don't worry about it because you guys have always been good tenants. And we had been there for like almost 6-7 years. She was like, y'all have always been good tenants. She was like, when it comes, just let me know. I didn't pay her for almost 6 months. But when it came, guess what we did? We paid that balance off. The full amount. And she was like, I knew you would. I had so much favor with her. That was nothing but God. And then for this blessing to happen, that was nothing but God. And it worked together. And even though I was scared and I was nervous, I was a new mom. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to take care of our son and still not know if we're going to have a place to lay our head. Like, that was a stressful season of our lives. But guess what? God brought us through it. So I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you right now. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever choice that you're trying to make or forced to happen, or you're like, God, I just don't know where to go next. I ask that you lay it at his feet and walk away from it. Be content with where you are and allow God to keep guiding you. Like, just guide you, even from the topic itself. It's like, you know what? I'm going to go to work this week and I'm going to just have a good day, no matter what they bring to me. I don't know if I should quit this job yet. I don't know. I feel like I should. I'm tired. These people are coming at me, and I don't know who that's for, because I keep hearing a job, and you're just concerned about it, and you're like, God, it just sounds like it's not going to set me up good. But you know what? If, like I told my husband, when people be playing with God's anointed, people get let go. And so they may have to antagonize you for a season, just so that they can piss off the wrong person. And I'm sorry, piss off is the wrong word, and somebody gets offended. I am who I am. I'm still a PK, but I am who I am. Some people are sensitive about certain words, but if they piss off the wrong person and then they get let go, it was for your good. And guess what? That position that might be open now, maybe because you were supposed to be in it, and that person was holding on too long, and they became ornery and salty. That's the only difference. It could be you. That could be your situation next. So let's pray. Father God, we just say thank you. We say thank you for this moment of encouragement, God. We know that you provide us with peace that surpasses all, God. We know that in the midst of trial and tribulation, or even in just uncertainty and feeling alone and feeling like you don't hear us, God, we know that you're still with us. We know that you're still with us. We know that you're still present. We know that you're still alive and well. We know that you are omnipresent, God. We know that even when I feel alone, even when they feel alone, even when the situation just feels like, how can I get out of this? What can I do? You're still working on our behalf. So God, I pray that you encourage them. Give them a little nudge of, I'm still here, daughter. I'm still here, son. I'm still here with you. Hey, don't worry about that. That's small potatoes right there. Don't worry about that person. I got something planned for them. Don't worry about this job, because there's something better coming on the way. That, like, God, I need you to let them know, like a warm blanket, that you're there for them. Let them know that you're present. Let them know that they can feel you, they can hear you, they can see you. Even if it's just, I see you, daughter. Let somebody confirm that. Let this be confirmation for them, whoever is listening to this. Let them know, hey, I see you. I feel you. I know it's hard. It's scary. But I got you, and I'm here with you, and I know you. You're better than this. You're stronger than this. You're more able than this. I prepared you for this. You were called for this. You are who you are supposed to be because you're walking with me. So continue to walk it out, daughter. Continue to walk it out, son. Be encouraged. Be uplifted. Know who you are. When you step into the place, let them know that you have shown up with me at your side. No longer be afraid. No longer be concerned. No longer be troubled in just making the decision. Say, God, I am with you. I'm with you. Lead me and I will follow. Lead me and I will follow. I will do the thing that you've commanded me to do. I will be content in the space that I'm in, because I know that this is where I'm still blessed. It may feel like chaos is around me, but right here in this spot where you are with me, just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, even though they were in the fire, they were surrounded by the flames, they were not burned because you were with them. So even in this season right now, God, we just say thank you for being with us. Thank you for never leaving us. Thank you for being the Father that always shows up on time. Thank you for protecting us, even though it just hurts and it feels scary and we're uncertain and we want to do the right thing. For my perfectionist side of myself, I want to make the right choice. I don't want to make the same mistake. I don't want to be a loser. I don't want to be a fraud. I don't want to be someone who's let down. I've failed so many times. God, I just need you to guide me in my next steps. And he says, hey, stay right here with me. I am with you. Oh God, thank you for not leaving us. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for showering us. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for caring about us. Thank you for doing all the things. Thank you for being who you are, God. Thank you for being who you are, God. Thank you for being who you are, God. We trust you. We believe in you. We need you. And when you send that word, God, we Right now, I submit my yes to you, God. When that new word comes, even if that old word comes, I submit my yes to you. Renew my yes daily, God. Yes to your will, yes to your purpose, yes to your way, yes to your steps, yes to your light, yes to your path, yes to you, God. Yes to the relationship that I have with you so I can pursue you farther. God, we say thank you. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for the ability to really just see you and hear you even in this moment, God. Let the person who's on the other end of this be boosted, ready to go, ready to hear what they have next. And God, I just know they're going to have a great rest of their week. And let's go into February knowing that we are not alone. Amen. You guys, thank you so much for listening in. I hope you felt encouraged. I hope that you know that God is with you. And even though you're praying in this season, you're wanting a word from God, be content where you are. Allow God to just show up for you in different ways. Allow him to minister to you in a different way. Allow him to sit on you and continue to seek his presence. That's the only thing I can tell you. Continue to seek his presence. Not a thing, not a job, not a family, not a husband, not a book, not an idea, but just him, because he will provide all of those things. And I hope that you felt his presence on today. You guys, of course, I have my clothing line that's out. It's for Wild Preachers Kid. It's just to help me do what I'm doing. And of course, if you would like to sew into what I'm doing as well, you can always do Cash App for AJ Abdullah, and that's ABDULLAH. I might change it a little bit later, but that's what it is right now. If you want to sew into it, just to allow us to keep doing what we're doing. And I'm so grateful and thankful to you guys. This has been fun, y'all. For the month of February, just to give you a heads up, if you haven't listened, I'm going to post this on Friday, but of this week. But for February, I am going to do two different episodes on Monday. I'm going to have one that starts Monday 7 a.m. and then one for Monday I haven't decided the time. I'm going to change the time because I want to make sure I meet the requirements of my guests. But I'm going to have guests for the second one. The first one's going to be pre-recorded like always. But the second one, we're going to have live guests. And you guys, y'all don't understand. They're other church kids just like me. And their stories are so impactful. They are so meaningful. And I'm so excited to share their stories with you. If you would like to be a guest, if this is something that you'd be interested in, please message me. You can either do Facebook or Instagram and message me at PK Gone Wild. Either one of those, please let me know, because I would love to partner with any wild PK or church kid in this area, in the world. I would love to. Even if you are from a different country, I would love to hear your story. We have to figure out the timing, but let's have some fun. I want to share not just the goodness of God, but our journeys. Like, everybody's journey is different, and I think I'm going to do one more so y'all can hear my story. And I'm going to try to keep it short because it's pretty long, you guys. But hey, continue to have a great day. God is with you. I love you, and keep being wild for God.